Part 91 for reasons why people just don't want to work anymore. Possible trigger warning, so please prepare yourself because this might be one of the most disturbing lists that I've put together so far. I got threatened to be SA'd across the bar in front of everyone, got told I couldn't bar him because he's a good customer, and spent a lot of money. Also got punched in the face and had my jaw cracked. Got told I couldn't go to the hospital and I had to stay, and close the kitchen and bar. Also did a 23-hour shift. You need to stop being money hungry and work off the clock. An HR person to my manager, a 20-year-old putting herself through college with no financial help from anyone or anything. When my manager firmly but politely refused, she was screamed at in the dining room of a fast food joint. The local Woolies had a staff member pass away in the middle of the fruit and vegetable section. They didn't close the store or let the work colleagues stop working, just left him laying there expecting people to just keep shopping and workers to keep working, as though a body was not laying on the shop floor. I had a customer tell me my hair color turned him on. He still comes in and will follow me around if he can find me. My male employees will warn me and I hide from him. Totally creeps me out. Dyed my hair a different color a week later. You know what really pisses me off about stories like that is that the creepy person is most likely friends with the owner. I'm not saying that the person in her story is friends with the owner, but my wife worked in the shop years ago where there was this super gross, creepy dude that was flirting with all of the female employees. And they all complained about him. He would force hugs, he'd try kissing them, and he'd say a bunch of inappropriate comments all the time. But the head manager or owner, I don't remember which one he was, he would just brush it off because he was buddy-buddies with them. My last job told us all the time that they look for our socials, and if we have anything on there letting people know where you work and post something they don't like, you would be fired. What that looks like to me is that they know they're going to have employees talk bad about where they work. But then the owners and managers won't change how they are. It's an endless headache. I had a manager who, when an employee called to say they weren't coming in because their partner had a stroke, the manager replied, "You didn't have the stroke. Why aren't you coming in?" The man is legitimately a sociopath. I don't have a job now because my one coworker bullied me out of the job and got our boss to start bullying me once I told the boss what the coworker was doing. I worked at a grocery store, and a month in, I became a manager. They trained me horribly, had me by myself a week in, and hardly ever answered when I called for help. I pushed 50 plus hours on a week, and the CEO came in, saw me in sweats because I was burnt out, and said it was no excuse. Then I had teeth removal surgery, and I had to have 2 weeks off, but they called me a week later and had me come in pain. I quit the month after because they cut my hours to 2 days from 40 plus hours. I'm only 19. My daughter was in the hospital with a massive infected kidney stone. She was released and went back to work. I brought in her doctor's note on day 1. She was called in the office and written up for missing 3 days in a row. She was in the hospital for those 3 days. They didn't care. And at number 10. Used to work for the Golden Arches. Got off work one day to a bunch of missed calls from my babysitter because she had to take my kid to the emergency room. She had called my work and told my boss, who never told me. I quit the next day over the phone, which happened to be a major holiday. I've got nothing to say. Let's just go wholesome. I work at a Dollar General in my town. I have my regulars that come in every day. One day, I was walking back in from break, and one of my regulars stops me. He said, "Hey, hold on, I got you something." He stopped, and he handed me a plate of Mexican food. It was the nicest thing that's happened to me while working there. It was super good, too. My cat of 12 years was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer. I didn't have long with him. My boss let me take time off before and after he passed. Everyone checked in on me while I was off. When I returned, they got me a keychain that says, "My angel has whiskers. Little guy was my world for so long." The person in the last one also sent me a picture of the cat, so I will now show you what that cat looked like.